do not even know where to begin with this New York Yankees team right now. Watching them play is like watching a slow-motion train wreck, one mistake after another, and somehow they keep getting praised for showing up, like showing up is enough to justify all the errors and bad baseball we are forced to witness. Aaron Judge says they have to play better, and yes, obviously, that is true, but saying it is not going to magically fix a team that looks lost every time they face a competitive squad. Every single game against a good opponent feels like déjà vu. They stumble, they miscommunicate, they fail to cover the simplest plays, and we, the fans, are just left shaking our heads in disbelief. How is it possible that professional athletes who train for this, who dedicate their lives to the sport and make millions doing it, can perform with so little effort, so little attention to fundamentals, and so little accountability? It is baffling. It is infuriating. It is beyond comprehension. You look at the defense, and it is an unending parade of mistakes. Anthony Volpe throws to the wrong base. Jason Dominguez misfires. Jazz does not cover the bag. It is as if everyone is playing their own game with no regard for the team around them. Baseball at this level is supposed to be about precision, about executing the basics at the highest level, and yet this team treats even the simplest plays like optional suggestions. You cannot compete when your foundation is crumbling, and that is exactly what is happening here. There is no rhythm, no cohesion, no sense that anyone is really holding their teammates accountable. The inconsistency is staggering. One moment a player looks competent, maybe even brilliant, and the next moment they are making errors that a little league team would cringe at. And yet, somehow, the messaging from the organization is always the same. It is okay, we are fine, we will get through this. Meanwhile, the team gets blown out by competent opponents, and fans are expected to nod along, to accept that everything is under control. The offense is no different. It flares up sporadically, but it is hardly ever reliable. You might see a player hit 7 home runs in a week, and then the next week, they are ice cold, striking out repeatedly and failing to contribute in any meaningful way. The lineup is a patchwork of inconsistency. Decisions on who starts, who sits, who gets opportunities appear completely arbitrary. One day, a young talent has a breakout game, and immediately after, they are benched without explanation. How are you supposed to build confidence or momentum under that system? How can you expect these athletes to perform under pressure when there is no continuity, no clarity, no trust in their abilities? And the numbers tell the story as well. You can throw out defensive metrics, but even those are signaling that players like Volpe are having terrible seasons. The bat isn't carrying the glove isn't carrying the bat, and the fans are left to watch the decay with no end in sight. Every time the Yankees face a good team, it is the same script. They get outclassed, embarrassed, completely overpowered. And yet, there is this endless stream of platitudes about how they will get past it, how everything will be okay, as if repeating the same empty reassurances can erase the fact that they look absolutely unprepared to compete at a high level. And it is not just frustrating, it is heartbreaking. Fans invest time, money, and energy into supporting this team, only to be let down day after day. Tickets are astronomical, the experience at the ballpark is expensive, and what do you get in return? A team that looks confused, unorganized, and unmotivated. It is almost insulting. The pride, the tradition, the history of the Yankees means nothing if the team on the field cannot even play competent baseball. And then you look at the coaching, and the decisions are equally perplexing. Aaron Boone is under constant scrutiny, and while it is fair to question his leadership, a lot of the responsibility seems to come from the front office and the analytical department, making lineup decisions that defy logic. You have players being shuffled in and out, benching who should clearly be everyday starters, playing who should be warming the bench, and creating a situation where consistency is impossible. It is almost comical if it weren't so tragic. The players are left to navigate a system that seems designed to confuse them, and the results are predictable. The team loses games it should be competing in, the defense collapses, the offense sputters, and the fans are left holding the pieces. Even when they face weaker teams, the wins feel hollow. Sure, they might beat the Nationals or the White Sox, But those victories do not inspire confidence because the moment they face a real opponent, the cracks appear immediately. Postseason baseball is about facing the best, and the Yankees right now do not look ready. They cannot handle adversity, they cannot maintain focus, and they cannot execute. It is frightening to think about what will happen when these shortcomings are exposed in the playoffs against teams like Boston, Houston, or Toronto. Regular season games against bad teams mean nothing if you cannot translate that into performance when it truly counts. And yet, despite all of this, the messaging is still the same. We are fine. Everything is going to be okay. It is the equivalent of a parent telling a child who just fell off their bike that it is fine, that they will get up, without actually helping them correct what caused the fall in the first place. Repetition does not fix systemic failure. Words do not compensate for lack of fundamentals. Baseball is about preparation, precision, and execution, and this Yankees team is failing spectacularly on all three fronts. The frustration is palpable for anyone who watches closely. It is impossible to ignore, and yet, somehow, the narrative persists that there is no cause for concern. The disconnect between the reality on the field and the official messaging from the team is staggering, and for fans, it is maddening. Watching this team is exhausting. Every pitch, every at-bat, every inning is accompanied by a sense of dread because you know it is only a matter of time before another error, another misplay, another blunder. The tension is relentless because the Yankees have created an environment where nothing is predictable except the constant disappointment. The history and legacy of the franchise set high expectations, yet the current product falls dramatically short of even basic competence. The contrast is painful. The greatness of the past versus the chaos of the present. It is impossible not to feel frustrated, angry, and disillusioned when watching professional athletes perform with such inconsistency and lack of focus. Fans are left questioning everything: the players, the coaching, the front office, and even the culture of the organization. How can a team with so much talent, so much money, and so many resources produce baseball that is so fundamentally flawed? How can the same mistakes happen repeatedly without consequence? And while the players and coaches assure us that it will all be fine, the truth is evident in every misplayed ball, every failed throw, every missed opportunity at the plate. This is not just a bad streak or temporary slump. This is a team that appears structurally unprepared to succeed against serious competition. The inconsistency from game to game, player to player, is staggering. One day, a young player like Anthony Volpe shows flashes of brilliance, hitting, fielding, looking like the future of the franchise, and the next he is completely invisible, making mistakes that cost runs, costing innings, costing confidence. And this is not just a minor regression. It is a complete collapse. Even the defensive stats, the advanced metrics that usually highlight talent, are telling the same story. Negative outs above average, below average defensive runs saved. Numbers that indicate players are not performing at the level expected of them. And yet, the messaging remains. We're fine. It will be okay. Everything will sort itself out. But how can it be okay when fundamental mistakes are happening every single game? Baseball is a game of execution, and the Yankees are failing on nearly every level. The offensive inconsistencies are equally infuriating. You see a player go on a streak, hit multiple home runs, and you think maybe, finally, there's something to build on. But the very next game, the player is benched or struggles at the plate, leaving fans scratching their heads. Decisions like these undermine confidence, they disrupt rhythm, and they make it nearly impossible for anyone on the team to find a consistent stride. And it is not limited to one or two players. This ripple effect affects everyone, from the pitching staff to the bench to the everyday starters. The lineup is a revolving door, constantly changing, with no apparent logic or strategy. The front office and analytics department may think they are being clever, but in reality, they are creating chaos. And chaos is never the foundation of a winning baseball team. And then there is the mental aspect. Facing good teams should test focus, preparation, and mental toughness. Instead, the Yankees crumble. They appear rattled, disorganized, and unprepared. Errors multiply, strikeouts pile up, and the opposition capitalizes on every misstep. Baseball at this level is about competing in every pitch, every at-bat, every inning. The Yankees, however, appear incapable of doing that. They cannot adjust, they cannot respond, they cannot handle adversity. And when the postseason arrives, this lack of mental toughness will be exposed. Teams like Boston, Houston, Toronto, they will not give them a break. They will not make excuses. They will punish mistakes relentlessly. And the Yankees, as currently constructed, look ill-equipped to withstand that kind of pressure. And yet, there is still the narrative that all will be well. You hear it repeatedly, it's going to be okay, we're fine. But watching the games tells a completely different story. Every misplay, every defensive lapse, every missed opportunity at the plate screams otherwise. Words alone cannot erase the reality of what is happening on the field. Fans are left to reconcile this dissonance between messaging and performance, and it is exhausting. It is demoralizing. You want to believe in this team, you want to trust the organization, but the evidence is right there on the field, game after game, that this team is not ready, not cohesive, and not executing at a high level. The lack of accountability is staggering. Errors happen, but rarely is anyone held responsible. Lineups are inconsistent, decisions seem arbitrary, and the players are left to navigate a chaotic system that offers no stability. The result is predictable. Losses pile up, confidence erodes, and fans are left frustrated and bewildered. This is not a temporary slump. This is a pattern, a systemic problem that has persisted far too long. And the worst part is, the potential is obvious. You can see the talent, the flashes of brilliance, the moments when a player executes perfectly. But those moments are fleeting, overshadowed by a constant stream of mistakes and poor decisions. Watching this team is a study in contrast. What could be versus what is, and the gap is enormous. And let's not forget the pitching. When the Yankees face competent lineups, their pitchers struggle to find consistency. Walks, wild pitches, failure to locate the ball. These are not anomalies. They are recurring themes. Baseball is about controlling the game, and when your pitching staff cannot command the strike zone, everything else falls apart. The defense is under constant pressure. The offense is forced to compensate, and yet the results are rarely favorable. Even the bullpen, which should provide relief, is inconsistent at best. It is a domino effect of mediocrity, where one mistake compounds another, and no one seems capable of stopping the cascade. And the fan experience, once a source of pride and excitement, has become a grind. Tickets are expensive, the ballpark experience is less accessible, and yet fans still show up, hoping to see competence, hoping to see teamwork, hoping to see fundamentals executed at the highest level. And time after time, they're disappointed. The frustration builds, the passion turns into anger, and the joy of watching the team erodes. Baseball is supposed to be thrilling, but with this team, the thrill comes only from wondering what mistake will happen next, rather than celebrating excellence. The coaching decisions exacerbate the problem. Aaron Boone, under scrutiny, is often blamed, but it is clear that the decision-making extends beyond him. The analytics department, the front office, all have a hand in creating a system that is inconsistent and confusing. Young players are shuffled unpredictably, veterans are mismanaged, and the lineup lacks coherence. Confidence is undermined, rhythm is disrupted, and the team suffers. Execution is impossible when the structure is unstable, and fans bear the brunt of the frustration. Every game feels like a test of patience, endurance, and hope, and time after time, the team fails. The Yankee struggles are not limited to one aspect of the game. They permeate every level: pitching, hitting, defense, and mental toughness. Execution is poor, decisions are questionable, and accountability is absent. Yet the messaging remains unchanged. We are fine. It is okay. Fans are left to reconcile this cognitive dissonance, to watch talent squandered, and to endure the frustration of witnessing a team with so much potential perform so poorly. The contrast between what could be and what is, the disparity between expectations and reality, is painful and exhausting. The path forward is unclear. The talent exists, the potential is evident, but the systemic issues, coaching, analytics, lineup management, defensive execution, pitching consistency, must be addressed. Without real changes, without true accountability, this team will continue to struggle. The fans' frustration will continue to grow, and the dissonance between what is promised and what is delivered will only become more pronounced. Watching this team is a lesson in patience, endurance, and the harsh realities of professional sports. Talent is not enough without execution, leadership, and cohesion. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are circulating in the world of Major League Baseball, particularly in the hallowed corridors of Yankee Stadium, where speculation and intrigue seem as constant as the roar of the crowd. The latest storm centers around manager Aaron Boone, whose controversial decision to sideline young prospect Anthony Volpe from the main roster has sent ripples across the fan base, the locker room, and sports media alike. The move, unexpected and abrupt, has prompted endless debate among analysts and insiders who are questioning the reasoning behind such a drastic measure. Volpe, widely regarded as one of the most promising talents to emerge from the Yankees farm system in recent years, has been a beacon of hope for a team seeking to recapture its former dominance. His presence in the lineup was seen as a key factor for the season strategy, and yet Boone's choice has sparked a mixture of outrage and curiosity, with fans taking to social media platforms to express their bewilderment and loyalty to the young shortstop. Rumors suggest that Boone's decision may be rooted in internal disagreements, perhaps related to Volpe's approach at the plate, his defensive positioning, or even perceived attitude issues, though concrete details remain elusive. The atmosphere at Yankee Stadium has grown tense, with journalists speculating endlessly, and every game now carries the unspoken question of whether this decision signals a deeper rift within the team's hierarchy, a tension that could redefine the trajectory of both Boone and Volpe's careers. The Yankees clubhouse has reportedly been abuzz with speculation since the announcement, with teammates and staff members offering cautious commentary behind closed doors, each word carefully weighed and measured to avoid inflaming an already delicate situation. Sources close to the organization hint that Volpe's removal from the active roster may not simply be a punitive action, but rather a strategic maneuver designed to recalibrate team dynamics in ways not immediately obvious to the public eye. Boone, whose managerial style has often been characterized by a combination of tactical innovation and calculated risk, appears to be testing the resilience and adaptability of his players under intense scrutiny. Meanwhile, Volpe, known for his fiery competitiveness and disciplined approach to the game, has reportedly taken the news with a mixture of frustration and determination, focusing on personal development, honing his skills in minor league assignments, and preparing for what insiders describe as an eventual and highly anticipated return to the majors. Analysts speculate that the Yankees' front office may be playing a more nuanced role in this saga, balancing public relations concerns with long-term talent management, all while navigating the relentless pressure of media speculation and fan expectation. In this atmosphere of uncertainty, every action taken by Boone, Volpe, and the Yankees management is dissected, scrutinized, and amplified across digital and traditional media channels, creating a narrative that is equal parts rumor, strategy, and drama, leaving fans and commentators alike eagerly awaiting the next twist in what has already become one of the most talked-about storylines of the MLB season. Adding fuel to the fire, the rumor mill has intensified with various insiders hinting at potential behind-the-scenes conflicts between Boone and Volpe, though details remain tantalizingly vague and unverified. Sources suggest that personality clashes or differing perspectives on training regimens and in-game decision-making could be at the heart of the sudden roster adjustment, a notion that has only amplified speculation about Boone's management approach and its effect on young talent. Observers note that the timing of the decision, coinciding with a critical stretch in the Yankees' schedule, has heightened the sense of drama and urgency as the team navigates a competitive division and the ever-present scrutiny of national media outlets. Fan forums and sports talk shows are awash with conjecture, debating whether this move signals a long-term shift in the Yankees' strategy or merely a temporary recalibration aimed at motivating Volpe to elevate his game. Even minor details, such as Volpe's minor league assignments, practice routines, and interactions with coaching staff, have been dissected and interpreted as possible clues to the underlying causes. Meanwhile, Boone's press conferences have been watched with a microscope, with every word parsed for hints of regret, defense, or deflection, feeding an ever-expanding cycle of rumor and analysis. In a sport where loyalty, reputation, and performance intersect in complex ways, the fallout from this decision is unlikely to dissipate quickly, as both the Yankees and their emerging star navigate the treacherous terrain of public perception, internal politics, and the relentless quest for victory that defines the legacy of any storied franchise, particularly one as iconic as New York. Industry insiders and seasoned commentators are now weighing in on the potential long-term implications of Boone's decision, considering not only the immediate effects on team chemistry, but also the broader ramifications for player development within the organization. Volpe's absence from the main roster is being interpreted by some as a deliberate signal to other emerging talents, a message emphasizing the importance of discipline, consistency, and alignment with managerial expectations. This interpretation, however, has sparked controversy, with critics arguing that sidelining a promising young player may undermine confidence and disrupt momentum, potentially impacting both performance and morale. The debate extends beyond the confines of the Yankees organization, capturing the attention of rival teams and the wider baseball community, who watch with interest and sometimes skepticism as one of MLB's most storied franchises navigates internal turbulence. Speculation about potential trade implications, contract negotiations, and future roster decisions has added layers of intrigue as agents and analysts attempt to forecast outcomes in an environment dominated by uncertainty and rumor. Boone's leadership style, already a topic of discussion before this incident, is now under heightened scrutiny, with pundits considering whether this bold and controversial move represents strategic foresight, impulsive decision-making, or a calculated risk designed to maintain authority and cohesion within a high-pressure team dynamic. As this narrative continues to unfold, every game, every lineup announcement, and every press statement becomes a potential piece of a larger puzzle, feeding the insatiable curiosity of fans and analysts who are desperate to understand not only the present circumstances, but also the potential consequences for the Yankees' future and for Volpe's career trajectory in the league. Amid this swirling speculation, the human element of this drama cannot be ignored, as Anthony Volpe's reaction and adaptability may ultimately define the outcome of this unfolding saga. Sources close to the player suggest that he is channeling frustration into renewed focus, dedicating himself to refining his approach at the plate, enhancing defensive skills, and demonstrating resilience that could win back both Boone's trust and the admiration of the Yankees fan base. Meanwhile, Aaron Boone faces the delicate task of balancing immediate team performance with a nurturing of talent whose potential could shape the franchise's future. The tension between authority and encouragement, discipline and opportunity, has created an atmosphere where every decision is magnified, every misstep scrutinized, and every gesture interpreted through the lens of rumor, expectation, and speculation. Sports writers, analysts, and social media commentators continue to construct narratives around this situation, debating possible reconciliations, strategic motivations, and future developments that could either vindicate Boone's controversial approach or highlight the risks of alienating a rising star. Ultimately, this episode underscores the intricate interplay between talent management, media scrutiny, and fan engagement in professional sports, illustrating how a single managerial decision can reverberate far beyond the immediate context, shaping perceptions, narratives, and expectations in ways that extend well past the confines of the baseball diamond. The Yankees' journey forward and Volpe's path back to prominence remain subjects of intense speculation, rumor, and anticipation, ensuring that every development in this saga will be analyzed, dissected, and debated with relentless enthusiasm by an audience that thrives on drama, talent, and the unpredictable nature of the game. The implications of Aaron Boone's controversial decision extend far beyond the immediate headlines, casting a long shadow over the Yankees' strategy, fan loyalty, and the broader discourse surrounding talent development in Major League Baseball. Analysts continue to speculate on the potential long-term outcomes, ranging from Volpe's eventual triumphant return to a more protracted period of adaptation, each scenario carrying consequences for team cohesion, individual performance, and managerial credibility. The decision has inspired a surge of conjecture across fan forums, podcasts, and sports networks, where every reported detail is magnified and every unverified tidbit is treated as potential insight into the inner workings of one of baseball's most storied franchises. Questions abound regarding the influence of the Yankees' front office, the nature of internal communications, and the degree to which Boone's authority will be challenged or reinforced by subsequent events. As Volpe continues his development away from the main roster, speculation about his emotional resilience, adaptability, and readiness to reclaim his position remains at the forefront of discussions, highlighting the intricate relationship between personal growth, professional opportunity, and public expectation. In this charged environment, the narrative of Boone versus Volpe has transcended the confines of a single roster move, evolving into a larger commentary on the pressures faced by young athletes, the responsibilities of managers, and the relentless intensity of professional sports media. Each day brings new whispers, fresh interpretations, and evolving predictions, ensuring that the story of Anthony Volpe's absence and Aaron Boone's controversial choice will remain a focal point of discussion, debate, and rumor-mongering within the world of baseball for weeks to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.